Hi, this is Charlie Astron with a tutorial on how you can automate your market research. So, if you're a new trader like myself, you will spend a lot of time going through different websites trying to look for information of how the market is trading, how your what are your biggest percent gainer, what are your biggest percent losers, and different stuff that you look every day in order for you to get more knowledge about the market and where things are going. So basically, this task can really be time consuming. So what I have been doing for the last a couple of weeks is that I start learning this programming language of Python. I'm a programmer. I have 15 years of experience doing programming, but I have never looked at Python. But I dive into that and I start experience what everybody is saying that this is the best tool for you guys to get in order for to do your market research and having analysis of the data and all of that, because it's provide you with a lot of pre-written libraries that you can leverage in order for you to get more information and to analyze your data. So basically, if you are not a programmer, don't worry. I'm gonna start from the beginning on how you will set up your uh, development environment until we can write a small code that you can see and that you can use every day to get the biggest percent changes, and then manipulate that data in a way that makes sense for you. So to get started, just go to python.org and hover over the downloads and download the latest version of the uh, Python libraries for your operating system. So I'm using a Mac, so it's gonna be on Mac OS. Just download whatever version you need for your operating system and go through the installation. If you want to pause right now, just pause and go through the installation and then come back. After the installation, you will get some programs installed on your computer. So the IDEL is the out of the box IDE for Python. So we will be using this Python. We are not going to be using this Python shell for our programming. We are going to use an IDE. So before that, we will need to install a package manager for Python. So the package manager that we will use for Python is called pip. So the way that you go and install pip is just open your terminal and then write this command sudo easy underscore install pip. Okay, so then it's gonna ask you for your password, the one that you use to log in your computer, and then it's going to run through the installation. So why we are using pip? Because it's the package manager that we are gonna leverage for us to be able to download different libraries that we are gonna be using while programming, and it's easy to install and it's easy to maintain. Okay, that will help us in the future. If you get more into it, you will see that it's really beneficial for you guys to be using pip to maintain all your libraries and updates, all of that. There is a lot of content out there, like open source content, that you can leverage for Python programming. So the next tool that I want you to download is go head off to jetbrains.com and then download PyCharm. So I use PyCharm as the IDE of my preference to program Python. And why I use that is because I don't remember all the commands. I'm also new to this language, so I want a help from the IDE that can tell me what are the functions and methods that I have available. If I need to install a new library, I can install plugins, I can install a lot of stuff, and then it will the IDE takes care of that. So it's very beneficial for a new developer to use an IDE like this. So just go ahead and download this IDE. The other thing that after you download that, go through the installation and open uh, the uh, uh, the IDE. I already have it installed, so whenever you install it in the beginning, you will have this. You will see this window. So just go and create a new project. Give the name that you wanna give to this project. It can be basic Python basics or pandas tutorial or market research. I already created one project that I'm going to use. This doesn't do any special thing other than install this library and then get the some libraries here and set up your initial configuration for your development environment. So basically, it does nothing else. So the other thing that you need to do is just create a new file. So just go create file, and then we do we market research .py, and we use the py at the end. This is the way that this extension is the one that we need to use for the IDE to recognize that we are working with Python. If you can use other was it's not going to recognize that. Okay, so after you have this is your setup. There is only one more thing that we need to do in order for us to get started. So for this tutorial, we are going to be using pandas. So for you to install pandas, the only thing that you need to do is go and click the terminal here down here and just do sudo pip is the package manager that we install and then pandas. I already have pandas installed on my computer, so it's not going to install it again. It's just going to tell me that yeah, this is the installation you have, but for you, if this is the first time, you will see that you will get an installation and a progress. Then after the installation, it's really quick. It's not gonna to take you more than maybe 1 minute or 30 seconds to 1 minute to do it. So after you do the installation, you can close this here. Let's close the terminal because we are not gonna use it anymore. So the other thing that we need to do is to set up the run environment. So just click run and then click this run here, and then you will select the one that you wanna run. So you see I have two files in here because I was creating something before. So I have two files in here. So I have market research and basic. So what I want you to do is just click the one that you have, and then it's gonna run, and it's not gonna do anything because I mean I don't have anything written in there. So execute it like it was successful. So for this is the basic setup. So right now we are ready to get started. Let's get started. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to import the pandas library into our class. Okay, so if you see, I am stopping here because if you are new to programming, you will see that when you start writing in an IDE like this, it will give you some information on what you have available. Okay, so I click enter and it completes the command for me. So it's this command completion, is this IntelliSense, that it will allow me to see what I have available. So I know that I'm going to be using pandas, so pandas, and then you see there is a lot of stuff here available that I can use, but what we are interested is in pandas. So pandas, click enter, and then we are going to create an alias for pandas that we can use to reference the library afterwards. Okay, so as PD, and this is the basic setup. Okay, so if you need in the future, you need other libraries, you will need to import them into your um, into your class. But right now, the only one that we are going to be using is pandas. So before we get started, I want you to see this command first. So there is an input and output, and then the way that programming works is that you input something and then you get an output. So right now, the way you get outputs uh, in Python is by the print command. So let's do something really simple right now. So print, and then the magnificent hello world, and then just run it, and then you will get hello world here. So if you can do this and you have successful, you are ready to get programming. Okay, so now we know that this is the way that we can get information out on the console. So what we are really interested in here. So I want to use pandas, and I want to use a function that will allow me to go to enter a URL and get information from that URL. Okay, so if you see, I click I start uh, writing read here, so I get a bunch of functions here, and this is really interesting because you can get functions that read HTML, read CSV, read clipboard, read Excel, and read JSON, Pickle, SQL, and all sort of data sets. So something that you need to understand is that this read HTML, it gets a URL as an input. Okay, gets a URL as an input, but it only is going to bring successfully if that URL has table on it. So what it does internally is like it gets the URL and start parsing the tables that are part of this HTML page. Okay, so what do we want to do? Let's go back to uh, Chrome and open the Wall Street Journal website that I use. So this Wall Street website, what it does is that every day at around 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, it publishes the day biggest percent gainers. So uh, what I used to do is that I copy all of this, I paste it on Excel, and I start doing some filtering and all of that. Then after that, I build my watch list, and then that's the way that I go about it. So right now, I'm trying to automate that. So with just one click, I can get that information, and I can get all my research done, and I don't have to go to the website, copy this information, and go back and forward and lose a lot of time. Yeah, because time is money, as you know. So if you copy this URL, let's do a test really quick here. Let's copy this. So, and then click run. And what it's going to do is that it's going to return whatever I get on that website. Okay, so if you see, this is the information that we want. We have some garbage in here at the top, we have some garbage at the bottom, but the information that we want is this one at the middle. Okay, so let's take a moment and look what we are doing here. So if you take a moment and see the URL, you can grab some information. Okay, because right now the only thing that I'm doing is that I'm just passing a static URL, and I don't want to go to the URL every time and just check for the information, because it doesn't make any sense to me. So I want to make this dynamic. So how do you do that? Um, then if you see and you start clicking on the different dates, you see that the only thing that the developers for the Wall Street Journal have done is that the only thing that they do is that they change this part here that is the date. You can see it's clearly the date, the date that you get on the calendar. So we can use that information as in our advantage. So we can use this URL and we can manipulate uh, this URL in order for us to be able to create a dynamic way to get this data. So I want you to just select this here, code, and then put two columns in here, okay? Single quote in here. So after that, just do plus, space, plus, and then here just write date, okay? So if you see I'm getting an error in here because it say that that is unresolved, and so I haven't defined what date is. So the way that you define it here in Python is that you don't use int, you don't use any of that. So I just wanna define it like this. So date equal to the date that I got here. So, and then it disappeared, okay? And if you run it back, then you have that, and then we are making this dynamic already, okay? So, the other thing that I want to do is that I want to get rid of all this garbage because I don't want that information here. The only thing that I want is this market, the 100% gainers. So after that, what I want you to do is just grab the URL again, cut that, and then we are gonna create what is called a data frame. Okay, so you can name it whatever you want. I just name it df equal for data frame, and then paste it. So what this does is that the return for this HTML, if you look at the documentation, is a data set already. So what I'm getting back is a data set. So then my function, my variable here is gonna get that definition because I'm assigning the information that the function is returning back to the to my variable. Okay. So basically, the other thing that I want to do is that I'm gonna print it. Okay, df the data frame, and then I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna see that nothing has changed because we haven't done anything yet. We are still doing the same thing. The only thing is that we are approaching a little bit better in order for us to get it more to dynamically start getting this information. Okay, so if you want to get another day, you can do it here, 01, and then click run, and then you will get the bigger gainers for November 1 and all of that. So the next step that I want you to do is that let's get some space in here. So data frames, if you see, let's hold on for a second and let's look at this. So I'm getting some garbage in here, then a comma, then the data that I'm interested to have, and then I have all the data, and then I get another comma, I get more garbage, okay? And then the close of that array or list that we are getting from the website. So if we go to the website, and I'm not gonna do that right now, we go to the website and then we look at the source of the website. Then you will see that they separate this in tables, and that's what we are getting. Okay, so what I want you to do is that, and maybe you have to believe me for now, is that for us to be able to clean up that data and to get the data that we that we have that we want is uh, the arrays start on 0, so you have should be the index of 0, this garbage here. My data is on index 1, and then the rest of the garbage is in index 2. So if you go here and just hit clear 1, what it's going to do is going to return to you the that data that is in the middle. So if it's on 4 or 3, then that's what we get, and then that's the way that you will clean up and get only what you get. So now it's looking nice here. Okay, so the way I don't want to manage this way. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go the f equals to the data that I want. Okay, so this way I will be just clean that out, and then I just filtering that information, cleaning it. I get my data set, and then I can start manipulating this data. Okay, so right now I'm gonna stop in here because I just want you to experiment with this and start getting some your feet wet. So I'm gonna stop it here. I hope that this was really beneficial for you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Just send me an email at cinetictrader@gmail.com. Give me your comments. Um, uh, then we are gonna have another tutorial on how we can take this information and start manipulating these data sets and these data frames that we are getting in order for us to apply filters, to normalize some data, to get the best of it. Okay, so thanks for watching, and happy trading, guys. Bye bye.